coming from the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. Listening to myself, Phil Humphreys, and tonight we're co-commentating from James Davis.
Good evening. How are we?
Not too bad. So it should be an interesting race this week. Obviously another short circuit. So again, just like Brands Hatch Indy, if you do sort of get back to the pack, not very hard to catch up. So there should be some close battles from the front and the mid pack of the grid as well. Who's your eyes on tonight? Who do you think's going to take the? Firstly, who do you think's going to get pole tonight, James?
My favourite is always NXTGEN because consistently he's shown through the last few seasons that he's always going to be near the top. So be sensible to put your money on him for pole and certainly to challenge in the top echelons of the race and maybe get a podium. And then Gonzi, it showed last week that he's got pace in these cars. So I think he could also do some damage at the front of the field.
Yeah, definitely. The FRT boys have definitely got a couple of like decent pace races with them. FRT Svenjura, who's more a filler to the season, but he's shown good pace in the first race. Gonzi, you just mentioned that as well. But we've also got FRT Holtman, unfortunately, due to other commitments, had to miss last week's race. But he's back this week, so he'll definitely be wanting something to prove to bridge the gap a little bit that was missed from last week's race.
That's it, and obviously you miss week's racing, you're itching to get behind the wheel and get going again. So, I mean, it all depends. I think in terms of if you get a chance to practice at the track in the week leading up to the race, it can give you a big advantage. But as I was saying to you before we started the stream, for myself, it didn't really play any advantage. I was still way off the pace, but I'd normally find a pace during the end of qualifying in the race, so it's too late for me. But I think if others can get their pace early, they've got every chance here because it's such a short, compact track.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just watching Scooby G 2019-76 at the moment. So I mean, he's definitely one to watch. He has got the pace. He's also one of them that, if he makes a little bit of a mistake, he can come back from it. He can fight, and he will keep on fighting to the end. Whether he's got the thing that separates the NXTGEN, who's leading at the moment. So the way the points stand at the moment, we've got NXTGEN in first with 64, and there's a huge 21-point deficit there to second. So Cam 123 Diz in second. The thing that separates Jim from the rest is consistency. He seems to avoid trouble, but then doesn't really make any mistakes, where a few of them you might see them going off a little bit now and again, whereas Jim will just stick to his line and gets down. But there have been some, like FRT Holtman, Svenjuro, that have started to catch Jim towards the end, but because of the incidents I've had at the start, it's just not enough. I think if they stuck with Jim at the start, I think they could really fight RSGym, and that's something that we haven't really seen, is how RSGym can handle when he's got serious pressure for quite a few laps coming up at the rear of him. So it'd be interesting if if we do get to see that. So Scooby's just took pole with a 140, but first to put in a time lap there.
That's it. I mean, and I think with Joe, I think having watched the highlights from yourself for the first 3 rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, what I noticed as well is Jim will quite happily play the percentages. So he may, if he is under a bit of pressure, I've actually seen him sort of let the person who's putting a bit of pressure on go ahead and then make their own mistake, and he'll quite happily then just go through and get back up ahead again. So I've seen that he plays the tactics on the track as well very, very well. So it's something to bear in mind, that he's not only consistent, but I think he's strategically very much on the ball.
Yeah, definitely. And we've still got Scooby up, but the times at the moment between the first 4, there's not a lot separating. Amiga double done. He's shown promise in qualifying, but seems to have had a few problems in the race. It's definitely not on his side. He has said that he's not feeling the game at the moment. He can't seem to get a flow going. And it is strange because Amiga was always one of them, especially in the Clios and the cars like this, was always up at the front battling with the likes of RSGym. So, hopefully he'll find his rhythm tonight. But looking how it's been from the last month, might be mid-pack for him again. So hopefully we'll see him come out tonight. Cam, he's gone into second with a 145, so not too far off. And as you well know, with the Clio Cups, it's it's tyre heat that's the biggest problem. You're either too cold or they're too hot. You know,
I tend to find that they're far too cold. Really, it is a challenge to get heat in these.
and we've just seen
Especially,
FRT Jelly Ridges just take provisional pole there with a 139.9, so just under the 140 there, but he's broken to the 139s now. So we'll stick on board with.
Gary George has gone there.
Omega's just now took pole, so there's me saying that he's not found his rhythm.
Jim's about to come through to the last corner. His first sector time was about a second over the fastest I've seen, so I think he's still just waiting for the bit of grip and heat to get into the tyres, because you do need, especially a track this small, and same with Brands like Chindy, is that you need about 3, 4, maybe 4.5 laps before you get at optimum tyre temp, and then you can really start attacking.
Yeah, definitely. It does. You know, the good thing about this track is there is a few fast corners in there as well. So, you know, you're definitely looking at 3, 4 laps to get you there. We just see Omega just sort of locking up, tyre smoke coming from the tyres there. So, yeah, you do need about 3, 4 laps really just to get the optimum sort of tyre heating the tyres to get the most out of the car. Oh, there's Omega locking up, stops it from doing a full 360 though, but that unfortunately will put an end to that lap for him. So FRT Jelly Ridges coming up to traffic there.
He's on pace here. He's going to be a similar time of 39, I think. But whether he can go better than Gary, we'll see.
So Jelly Ridges then getting the car almost sideways, going through Coca-Cola curve. So he's now stole provisional pole. There's not much in those times. Cam doing a nice time there of a 139.9 as well. So yeah, you'll probably see sort of as the laps sort of progress. And where is Jim at the moment? He's down in 6 with a 140.962.
He'll go a bit faster here. But whether he's managed to get a just over a second off his time to move up, I think he's going to probably get up to about 4th here.
So let's see, just as he comes past the line.
Well,
oh, there goes straight into pole. But I mean, we've got over 20 minutes left, so you're probably looking that we're going to have quite a lot more laps going on here. Obviously, there's no fuel wear, there's no tyre wear going on, so it's literally get out there, and you will find that drivers do push faster in qualifying than the race as well.
So third sectors there were rapid. I mean, his first sector was a bit outside, but I think it's fair to say that he's found the optimum of the car there.
So if it does go quiet, I'm just sorting out streams as well, sort of getting it going live on Facebook. So if it does go a bit quiet, we'll get back to the action. We'll keep the timing board up on the stream, and it's RS Jim that's in the background. So if you are watching on YouTube as well, don't forget, let us know in the comments who you think is one going to take pole and who is going to take the win tonight. All eyes obviously on RS Jim if he can make it 4 out of 4. But obviously it's got some stiff composition coming up from the rest of the races as well. So no one improving on the lap times at the moment.
Could very well be as close as last week, where I think the top 10 was separated by a second or just over.
So I'll stay on board just watching Cam at the moment. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be separated by much. I think Scooby's just in the 140s at the moment. And saying that, who's just moved up? So is that Gonzi? Yeah, Gonzi's just moved into second there as well, who's literally just behind. So names that have already been mentioned tonight already showing what they can do. So we're on board now with FRT Gonzi 85. See if he improve on his lap time. Got to be careful on this section of track. I was just about to say, if you do that, that probably discount his lap now. Can be a oh, someone out on track there, but he gets past without any incident. Oh, doesn't get through that corner without an incident though.
No.
So that will discount that lap. So RS Jim can breathe again. RS Jim just coming out the pits there, so took a little break. Was happy with his time, but he's looked now, and there's FRT Holtman, who's just took provisional pole with a 1:39.2. So he's took quite a bit of time off RS Jim there as well. So he's definitely back with a vengeance tonight. And his stunning black and blue Clio Cup.
Yeah,
so I think that's Amiga just in front of him there as well.
I sort of pulled a very naughty move on FRT Holtman in the pre-season test race, coming into the last corner at Donington, and I kind of just sort of dive bombed. Got a bit of grief off him, but it was all in jest.
Oh, FRT Holtman.
He must have heard me talking about him.
It's the rage took over. He went back to that moment, but yeah,
I think back to it and just.
Yeah, it's that's the thing about pre-season testing. You go out. You get your naughtiness out your system. You go for your moves that you shouldn't be doing, just to get it out. But yeah, there's no.
It was one of them. I knew it was a pre-season race. It wasn't anything sort of resting on it. So let's have a look here.
So obviously that lap not counted for Holtman there due to his incident going off.
Yeah, I think we've unfortunately lost RS Jim at the moment, mate.
Oh, has he disconnected, has he?
He has, yes, because Gary George is now currently second. I know, to be fair, his time is actually under what Jim's were, so that looks like it's a legitimate second anyway at the moment.
So we should get Jim back in the room pretty quick. It shouldn't be too long before we see him back in. I expect that we'll see him back at the top in no time, really.
No doubt he may be just trying to make things a little bit more interesting.
I don't think you'd see him leaving for that. I think it will be a disconnection.
No.
So we're on board now with Gonzi. So we'll stay on board with Gonzi just for a little bit, see if he can knock off his FRT teammate Holtman. Seems to be struggling with that corner. So brakes hard. Oh, and that's where Holtman went off just before. So that corner catching a few of the drivers out. Obviously, this is the shorter circuit, so it's not a circuit that's been used a lot in the next gen races. It's ideal for these cars, but it's not one of the circuits that gets used a lot. So obviously, drivers will need to. Oh, there he goes off into the dust. So he won't be taking pole in this lap. But yeah, this
Holtman just about to cross the line here. Looks a decent time.
Oh, he's just over his best. Counted. Just over his best there. It was 1:39.3. So just over his best of a 1:39.2. But yeah, obviously changing the circuit for where you normally use sort of the international, the GP. It can catch you out. You've got to have your concentration cap on, unless you will get cut out. So RS Jim is now back in the lobby as well. So I imagine he'll be. Yeah, he's out on the pit, so this will be his out lap.
I mean, that's with anything. This track in particular does it does particularly force the pressure onto your ability to shift your weight. If you can shift the weight of the car correctly in this, you can actually, fly through these corners at a great speed, and that's where you're going to lose or gain your time, on your rivals.
Yeah, it's just, you've just got to be obviously careful not to push it too much, because if you push too hard and your tyres start getting, hot, especially on a track like this, if your tyres are hot, it's hard to get the temperature back in them. RSM just moving out the way to let Holtman pass there.
Yep.
Obviously on his outlap, so he's not too fussed about letting traffic past. But that's the thing, especially when I know I've mentioned it in the previous races, but all cars are on stock setup here as well, so you've got to really be careful about pushing too hard. It's not too bad in qualifying because you can just back off a couple of laps, but I think we've seen it, was it last week, or was it maybe at Brands Hatch Indy, where towards the latter part of the race you saw a lot of the cars starting to slide out a bit more, because I think with heat in the tyres, obviously they start becoming a lot hotter. They did start losing a lot of grip, so I think you've definitely got to be careful, especially with a track like this. You've got to try and balance yourself. Do you push hard for a couple of laps and then slow down, or do you just sort of go for a steady pace and hope that the person in front makes the mistakes? That's the real problem, I think, that you find with small tracks like this.
That's it. We can see FRT Holtman has now done a 39.1, so just under 2 tenths from breaking into the 38s, which would be some achievements.
So we're live on Facebook as well now, so if you are watching on Facebook, leave in the comments where you're watching it from. Again, who you think is going to take pole. Is it going to be Holtman that stays at the top? Will Gonzi steal it? Or will Cam do what he did in round 1, I believe, and steal some places as well? Or will Jim manage to get pole for the race? Have a comment. Leave a comment. Let us know. And if you're watching on YouTube, get involved in the chat as well. Let us know where you're watching from and who you think is going to get it. And if you're watching on YouTube,
doesn't quite sell it, does it? Have a break. Have a comment.
Have a break. Have a comment.
Have a chocolate bar.
I'd rather have a pie. I'd rather have a pie.
Pie. Or a donut. Rather have a donut.
So we've got Blue Goby watching on Facebook as well. Hello.
Just Jim now. I think this is going to be around about 140.
142.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, that's lap 2. So as we were saying at the start of the race, his tyres won't be at the optimal race temperature yet, so he'll still be slightly struggling with control for the car, and the pace will be off a little bit. So.
His front tyres are going to be bluer than an Eskimo's testicles, but.
That's one way of putting it. That is one way of putting it. One driver to keep an eye on as well is EDU Pro driver. He's just gone into the pits there as well. But in the race, he can sort of get in with the battles, and he can cause problems for people. He's quite a good defensive driver, so he could be one to watch in this race as well.
Yeah, Oldsey as well in Luo 7. I've had a few battles with them out on the tracks in the first few rounds, and they're quite good and consistent drivers. I would say there's not that much in it. I mean, literally, we know last week it was a second, and in terms of the actual quality between the field, it's just that extra little bit, as you say, consistency, a little bit of 5-10% more that they just seem to have on the track that makes that big difference. And it may only be a second a lap, but over the course of 15-20 laps, it's huge.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just watching Oldie at the moment there, he's getting the car sideways, stuff like that. But definitely Oldie, Lee W, and EDU, you'll probably see them sort of mid-pack throughout the race. They have got the ability to get in front. It's just like you say, I think the front guys have just got that 5% more push in them just to get out to the front there as well. RS Jim's just moved up to 5th there as well. So yeah, but these guys, nothing against them when I say that, but definitely in this lobby, sort of mid-pack races. One person who I'm surprised at the moment, he's only managed to do 3 laps as well, is Scooby G. Don't know whether he's not feeling it tonight, but seems to be struggling a little bit there, which I'm surprised about, really.
Yeah, I mean, not out on the track at the moment, so he doesn't seem to be, I'll say concerned, but if you take it into the fact that it takes 3 or 4 laps to get your heat, then he needs to be going out again anytime soon to be able to get a couple of hot laps in before the end of qualifying.
Yeah, definitely. But he's not moving at the moment.
So we are into the 38s now, and that's FRT Holtman.
So yeah, he's screaming away at the moment. Is anyone going to be able to take the place off him? Will we see Amiga be able to do anything about it? So traffic building up on the track now as well. This is again a track like this size in qualifying. You try and be as respectful as you can, but obviously if you're on a flyer, or Amiga getting almost sideways there, but if you're on a flyer, you don't want to deviate off the line, but you don't want to get in the way, but you don't want to deviate off your line to sacrifice your lap time as well. Oh,
well,
Amiga,
see what Jim does here. Jim up to 4th.
So 139.6, so he's moving up, so pushing FRT. Oh, there's Cam moving up to 4th, steals the place right back from him. So there's no Jim, you're going to have to try harder. I was speaking to Cam the other week, he feels that he's got the pace where he can challenge for the top. He just feels that his consistency has let him down, which I'd agree, definitely got the pace to do it, but his consistency we do have, that has still to shine through. But he's looking nice in that yellow and black livery there in the Clio Cup. And again, this is the Ollie Pidgley Clio Cup, so proudly sponsored by Ollie Pidgley of the Real World Clio UK Clio Cup as well. So all eyes on number 3 if you do watch the support races that follow the BTCC. So talking of BTCC, plenty to chat about from the qualifying of that today, with a couple of people getting a little slap on the wrist from qualifying.
I mean, that's going to leave a lot of debate for the next 24 hours until the race gets underway. Well, the 3 races gets underway tomorrow, but I mean, I tipped that shutting before the start of the season to yourself to potentially challenge, but I think that today the extra boost that they've accused of having has given him that little push to be able to get that time, and that's why he's been demoted from pole. But I think that could. It depends now how...
Sorry to interrupt there. Oris Dim's just stolen 4th back, but we've got Cam who will just come over the line. Will he get his place back?
1,000th of a second in that.
Absolutely nothing at all.
But Subaru can use this now. I mean, similarly, Jake Hill is also...
Jake Hill, obviously. So the Subaru, Ashley Sutton was due to too much boost, and then Jake Hill was due to I think it was a spoiler angle or something like that. Yeah, it was... does it come down to the team technicians though? Should they should know obviously how the car's running. Surely they must be able to know. I mean, I don't personally work in a team. I'm not a technician, so I don't know. FRT Glazing's just taken 4th there.
It's a good time. Yeah, as you say, with the technician, I would have thought that there would have been. They would have had the telemetry and the it's all on computers these days. They plug it into the computer on board on the car, and then they can tweak things mechanically. Like you've got your wing angle, as you say, and things like this. But you'd think that before they went out on the track, that there'd be some sort of way that they could just go, right, does this meet regulation? Is it complying with the rules? Yay or nay, and go from there. But it looks as if they've gone out.
I know obviously drivers can change it, as you can go into the pits and change it on the fly and stuff in the qualifying as well. But surely what it's already at, so you should know if you change it to this, it's going to go against regulations or not. Surely the team directors must be must be informed of what's happening on the car and stuff. So, I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? There's obviously a lot happening in the races. It's genuine mistakes. No one's going to go out purposely to cheat, but unfortunately, it's one of them. You do it, you get penalised for it. It is the way of racing. But enough of BTCC. Back to the Ollie Pidgley Clio Cup that we're watching at the moment. So Holtman still in first. FRT Gonzi in second.
Just to know, every driver is currently out on the track, bar me and you.
Yes, we won't be racing. We'll just be commentating, trying to bring you as much of the action as we can. And as always, after this race tonight, there will be a highlight. So we'll try and cram as much of the action that we do miss into a highlights video. So if we catch something that happens, if we don't catch something that happens at the mid pack, we'll try and get it all for you in the highlight show that will follow shortly after this. It will probably be posted on YouTube on Monday or Tuesday, just with the Easter bank holiday now. Just might be a short delay in getting that highlight video out. But Jim,
after the race, I will be devouring a Rustler burger.
Delicious.
Saturday night takeaway delish.
Saturday night takeaway. Whoever heard that?
Well, it's not really a takeaway. Well, I've taken it away from the shop. I've actually paid for it, which I suppose is the least I could do. But I'm hoping that the guys at Rustlers have provided me with a delightfully delicious piece of microwavable crud.
I mean, let's face it, in terms of microwavable food, there's not much better than you can get than a Rustlers for a meaty treat, to be fair. And if anyone from Rustlers is watching the stream, we highly like the food. If you want to throw some burgers our way, we'll happily ping them in when we do commentate next week as well. Quite happy for you to do that. We do like a nice Rustler there. So just on board with Scooby, almost getting his car sideways, sweeping there to get some heat in his tyres. So yeah, he doesn't look like he's feeling the car. He's done.
I would say.
Then again,
I'd say he's got one more lap after this. He'll have just enough time for one more after this.
So it's interesting. Sorry, go on, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah, FRT Glazing's just ahead of him, so I reckon those two have got another hot lap to go. As Jeleridis is as well, he's just crossing the line. So this final 2 minutes is going to be very, very interesting as we see if anyone can put in a killer hot lap right at the death like we saw last week.
Yeah, definitely. And I was obviously after this, so we've got a 5-minute sort of warm-up session. Now, you see quite a few of the drivers that go out on the track, but a few of them stay behind. Now, you normally find that it's the mid-pack to the lower-pack guys that get out. I mean, you yourself sort of mid to lower pack. Do you use it as extra time just for more practice, or do you just do it because you've got nothing else to do? What would you say the reasoning for going out on the track would be?
Personally, mine is normally to practice a clutch start.
Okay.
Just to see if I can get off the line quicker, but then I end up bottling it anyway and just not using it. But no, I mean, I've done it in the past if I'm still not 100% happy with the track or my braking points, and I can just see, I go out and just see if I can use the 5 minutes just to find a little bit more consistency or find sort of a sweet spot for some certain corners and make sure that I'm ready and mentally prepared to know how I'm going to attack them in the race. Like last week with Brands Hatch, Graham Hill Bend, that for me, that left hand, the banking, is normally where I have trouble going off, so I wanted to make sure that I knew my braking point and what sort of entry speed and exit speed I was going in and out. And that sort of gives me a bit of confidence to make sure that during the race I could attack it.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't want to go into the race being a bit uncertain about anything. If you can nail everything down that you're confident, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. But I think you will find that you see the top guys, they're happy. They'll sit off, eat a pie or something like that. They'll just have a bit of a chill out. So Jim, he's moved into third there with a 1:39. So
fastest lap.
Just out of the 1:38s there, not too far behind, but. Again, Scooby there's moved into fourth. So the end of qualifying proving to be really, really positive for some of the drivers there as well. So, Jim, Could we have seen more if he didn't get that disconnect? Only time will
I
tell.
think we could, possibly. Let's have a look there.
So, Holtman with pole. But again, missing
Just
last
over
week.
S.
That's really going to damage. I mean, that puts him up to 32 points. So let's see. So quite a few X in the pits. So EDU, Gonzi. Gonzi's going out as well. We see Svenjoro staying in.
What I might do is I might go out and just take you around a tour of the track.
Okay, doke. Let me just get you on the...
I'll just go off.
There we go. So we're on board now with JD Curley, who's going to take us for a tour of the Nürburgring Sprint. So up to corner 1. So this is obviously, you know, you're going full from the straight, full blast down that. So that's a heavy braking corner. Into corner 2. So again, you just sort of glide it round there. Oh, James is not gliding that at all. Again, cold tyres.
To set wheel calibration because I think I'm on the wrong...
So yeah, you definitely don't want to have a wrong wheel calibration going into this. So James is just setting up his wheel.
There we go.
So again, this section of the track, if you get the entrance to this corner wrong, it pretty much messes up this corner. Oh, ooh. Just like that. So, a wonderful, wonderful tour of the Nürburgring that we're having at the moment. Again, we're using the sprint circuit of this track. So again, heavy braking for this corner here. And then back on full power.
I know why, I've got no force feedback in my wheel.
Never helps that when you get the wheel bug. Yeah, really struggling.
I'll try to power slide it right now. Right, we've got a little bit of heat anyway now, so should be alright.
So we'll see how it goes. Might be able to get you another lap on the track, and again you can watch that corner 1, just how quick it does arrive. So using as much of the track as possible. Coming up to the NGK chicane. Got to be careful on that. Yeah, I was going to say, got to be careful.
That just goes to show, I mean, that was very, very close, but anyone doing that will be penalised.
Yeah, track limits on this track, especially on the chicane. Round through the Coca-Cola curve. And then down the straight.
See if we've got enough time for one lap.
So, approaching corner 1, and it's heavy on the brakes. Gear down into first gear.
Still struggling.
And he's losing it. Yeah, he's definitely struggling. I mean, but that's one thing, isn't it? If you do get a bug with the wheel, especially that force feedback, it's game over, really, isn't it? You can't do it.
Can't do much about it, unfortunately, but
well, thankfully,
I'm able to turn the car. That's the main thing.
Thankfully, you're not racing, so it's not too bad. But as you can see, short track. It's not as short as Brands Hatch Indy, but short enough. But it's one of them that, you know, it can catch people out. A couple of tricky corners. And if people do push too hard and they do get that heat in the tyres, you know, on this track, the back end can come out from you.
But what I would say is that the front tyres do get heat around here. It's the rear tyres that you're going to struggle with.
He managed to save that one there. Not the prettiest of corners, but he managed to save it. Instead of getting another penalty.
Getting another cut track, yeah.
And sweeping last corner. and then down the home straight, and that is your Nürburgring sprint. Definitely no world records in the laps we just watched there, but gives you an idea of the track. So
Puts me on second for warm up.
All drivers in the all drivers in the garage. Only Amiga that wanted to do any other laps.
Right, here we go.
So half an hour of Clio Cup action. So round 4 of the Ollie Pidgley Clio Cup, hosted by NXTGEN Racing Leagues, with commentators tonight, myself, Phil Humphreys, and James Davis on co-commentary duty as well. So we will try and get as much action for you as possible. So the lights go green. So it looks like everyone cleanly away, all slotting into single file. RS Jim looks like he had quite a good start there as well. So coming down to the first corner, everyone jostling for position.
Got 5 wide there, 5 wide.
Oh, someone. Oh, on board with Lee W there, who's right in the thick of the action. Cars battling for position. Oh, Oldie there saying, get out the way, son, I'm coming through. Just a little nudge to let him know he's there.
With Lou and Oldie. That's
Scooby. That's Scooby who's gone off there as well. Oh, and that is FRT Svenjuro getting right in on the action. Scooby's trying to make his way past. Not the cleanest of first laps, but that is typical Clio Cup action. And that's someone else that's going off. That's Greener Army. Forced into the wall there as well. Svenjuro. Stewards might be having a word with him after the race. That was not a pretty first lap from the filler there. So Scooby dropped back to 10th.
Yeah.
So we've got Edie, who's made a good run up to 6th there as well. Amiga in 5th, Cam in 4th, Jim in 3rd. So we've got FRT Holtman in 1st, Gonzi 2nd. So this will be nice because we haven't really seen Jim.
We've got Euro Pro driver has a cut track there. So he's got to drop back, unfortunately for him.
So Oldie
Cam getting a bit wide at the last corner. So we've got the pack of 3 out front, so we've just started to pull away a little.
And Lee W has a huge train of Clio Cups for him. Scooby's going to make a move here. He's got the inside line for the first corner.
And he was early on the brakes, though. Will it pay off?
He's still got the inside.
Gets him on the inside.
But then Lee W's got the inside for this corner. Yeah, Lee does well to hold him off.
I think Scooby made a bit of an error there. He could have been a little bit later on his brakes and got in on the inside there, but I think he was...
going to let FRT... No, he covers his line well. Thought FRT was going to get through. Oh, EDU goes off there. Has to say goodbye to the pack. Neckelman saying thank you very much for making that a bit easier for me. So Lee W...
Gonzi is closing in at the front on FRT Holtman.
So up at the front here. So these 3 pulling away slightly, but FRT and Holtman and Gonzi looking in the mirrors.
Just having a look at is it Nelcom in there?
So there's trying to keep up with the battles as much as we can for you. So Scooby managing to pull away slightly. He's just on the tail of Oldie now. So Oldie be trying to attack, but also, you know, he knows that Scooby's got pace, so he'll be trying to do his best.
Just bringing attention to the front. So Jim is closed in a bit on Gonzi, and Gonzi is closed in a bit on FRT Holtman. So the front 3 have packed up a little bit, but they are currently just moving away from Cam down in 4th. So it looks like we've got a little private race going on at the front. Jim a little bit wide going in there.
Yeah, Holtman Holtman's definitely pulled away a little bit from Gonzi from that. Here we come. The corner that caught Holtman out before. Jim looking
Oldsy's
really rapid through
a...
that. Jim's
He
definitely
did, got a good
catching up.
exit. Ollie was just struggling at the back of the field there as well. Went wide twice in quick succession by the looks of things, and just lost a lot of pace and a lot of time, so he's down in 10th.
So a couple of the FRT guys at the back there struggling. EDU's after that unfortunate incident before where he's gone off.
Oh, Jim, very close. Is that a cut track? No, he's managed to avoid it, but he's lost a lot about
what you did before, where he's sacrificed a little bit of time, but obviously, you know, it's a lot better than getting your cut track penalty on that. But Gonzi right up on Holtman at the moment. Is he going to think about making a move? It's who can break the latest here. He doesn't try and take the move. Now, I think it was at Zolder where it was coming down the home straight. Gonzi seemed to break and let Holtman pass. Now, obviously, at the moment, we've got Holtman who's still leading Gonzi. So, will Gonzi be as polite, or will Gonzi be fighting for the points tonight? Stick with us and we'll try and get as much of the action as possible. This is proper Clio Cup racing going on at the moment, though. These two slightly pulling away from Jim. I think from that chicane incident there as well. Oh, Jim taking a 40. Thought he'd broke late there. Thought he'd locked up, but no. These two pulling away from Jim at the moment.
I think Jim will come right back into the equation, because these two are going to slow themselves up ever so slightly, just enough for Jim to get back into contention.
Yeah, could be a possibility.
Gary George is all over FRC Glaze in 81 here.
So really we're on board with Amiga at the moment. So the chicane has proven to already catch a couple of the drivers out. Amiga will be hoping that Glazen gets caught out as well. Oh, and it does! Right on cue.
Yep.
So Glazen is going to lose. Is he going to lose a couple of places here? Jelly Ridges, unfortunately, wasn't close enough to capitalise on it. Amiga almost locking up, getting the car sideways through the Coca-Cola curve. Jelly Ridges right on tail.
A lot of smoke coming out there.
Now Jelly Ridges, is he going to be able to get past?
Gonzi got a better exit out there, and Holtman was wide. I think he ran late on the brakes, and that meant that he was too deep into the actual turn. And the pressure is on here.
Is that little touch to say, I'm here, I'm coming for it. Gets a great Gonzi gets a great line. Great line through that section of the track, and Jim is watching this unfold. So Gonzi's going to have the line for the corner.
He's got the line here, he's got the inside, he's got the traction here. Get on the throttle, round about now, and he's away in front.
Gonzi's pulled it off. Awesome driving from Gonzi there, but Holtman now has the inside. It's side by side touching there. They're going to force each other off, and Jim's going to say thank you very much. Takes it first, says thanks a lot for that, you two. I'll see you later. And this is where we'll see Jim.
If we're going to have some sort of major inquiry within the FRT garage later after this race, because team orders there, were they being ignored? And look at Gonzi now, he's dropped right back down, and Cam is on him as well. What has happened there? They're going to have some words, I'd imagine.
Now, this is where we'll see Jim do what he does best. He just lets things happen. You see what I mean there?
Jim just sort of let it unfold ahead of him, and he was there to take full advantage as soon as it did.
That is, you know, it's one of them where Jim, could he sense it coming? Has he got an almost Jedi-like force about him where he can sense things going to happen? And we can see Gonzi has got Cam right behind him now as well. These two have had some good races this season so far. So will we see Cam being able to get on the podium for this race? You can see first and second in front of him there as well. So Cam made good progress in this race then, because he's now... Oh, spoke too soon there.
He locked up, but he's got away with it. He got away with it.
He's lucky to get away with that.
The reason I think Gonzi dropped back so much is because with Holtman being on the inside through this corner here, when they went wide to the right-hand side, was it this bit here?
No. So it was no. It was. So sorry, Amiga's got Scooby. Scooby's making a move here on Amiga. Is he? No, Amiga's got the inside now.
No, he's got it back. He's got it back.
Scooby's got some pace here, though. Scooby showing really good pace on Amiga. But Amiga's
Yeah, I think this
nice
corner here where
defensive line here.
Gonzi's just turning through. When he was pushed wide onto the section of the track to the right, I think he got a cut track. It could have been 5 or 10 seconds.
It could have been typical, though, where it's no one's really pushed each other out. It's the cars have stuck together, which thankfully reports are saying that has been fixed for Project Cars 2. The collision detection has been improved and cars no longer stick together like magnets. So hopefully, fingers crossed for Project Cars 2 will be improved in that. So Cam, drop back a little bit there. I don't know if that was a little bit lag or the car was just sort of locking up through braking. Oh, Amiga almost getting sideways there. Scooby following him. And we've got just behind him FRT Glazen, who's watching these two battle it now as well. We're on board with Scooby. Going around the Coca-Cola curves. Amiga almost getting sideways.
Scooby should have him here. Just got enough straight line speed and the.
But Amiga, will he have enough to get past? I don't think he will. And Amiga's going to have the inside line for corner one. Oh, Amiga, look a bit wobbly. He has got past. He makes the move stick. So Scooby into 5th. This is awesome Clio Cup racing tonight from the Nürburgring Sprint.
Just have a look how close it is at the front, mate.
So Holtman will feel a little bit robbed from that move from Gonzi before. So we're on board with Holtman. Oh, ambitious from him there.
Outside.
It's going first, second.
Sideways.
Excuse me, I am choking here. This is just action non-stop from everyone. Everyone wants these points tonight. Holtman with a point to prove. Jim not wanting to drop any points.
Racing so
take a breath, boys and girls. This is on tonight. This is on. So we're on board with Jim.
This racing because Phil's choking and needs a Heimlich manoeuvre mid-race.
So is Jim going to think about it? He's definitely not going to try and make a move here. He's smarter than that.
No.
Both drivers through cleanly there.
Gonzi is slowly reeling them in. And we could have a situation like before where these two are having a battle and they're slowing each other down just enough to allow 3rd place to creep up on them and again get themselves back into the equation and chances of a win.
So Amiga has now lost the place to FRT Glazen. So FRT Glazen doing well in this race as well. He's moving up the field very nicely. Amiga, unfortunately, having another one of those races where he's just watching places slip away from him, unfortunately. But he's not over for him. Is he going to make a move here? He's going down the inside. Breaks late.
He's got enough.
Oh, he broke late, broke hard.
Wide.
I think he's going to be able to do it, but Glazen's got the inside line. Cars very close side by side. Amiga's done it, but still not clear of the danger. FRT Glazen. Oh, FRT Glazen brakes hard there to avoid any contact. So nice driving from the FRT member there.
We got
but
Matt,
Amiga moves away through.
Just noticed he's catching Gonzi again.
Oh,
Jim's got a good exit out of his corner here. Oh, defensive moves by Holtman there, reminding you of Max Verstappen.
These drivers want these points. Look at this side by side, going up to chicane.
There's going to be contact, is there?
Oh, that could be a penalty for Jim. Has he avoided it? He did avoid the bend. And I'm choking again.
Someone get that man a doctor.
I think I need a glass of water. Bloody hell.
It's a good job you swallow normally. It's a good job you swallow normally.
Action throughout the field. Absolute. You know, we're trying to get as much of the action as possible. This is proper Clio Cup race going on. It's just over 15 minutes left. Holtman trying to have a look there, but Jim wise to it, making his car as wide as possible. I think these two are going to be swapping places all night. If you are watching on the streams, get in the comments who you think's going to finish first. I just can't call it. Can you call it?
Yeah, I'm going for Jim.
So you're going to go for RS Jim. I don't know, I think we've still got to see some from Holtman. So Gonzi managed to pull a little bit away from Cam there at the moment. So Scooby, he's actually catching up.
Well, I just noticed, I mean, looking at the lap times, Gonzi's done the fastest. I mean, he's actually gone faster than anything in qualifying. He's done a 38.2. 38.5 for Holtman and a 38.4 for Jim. So they are actually very, very close in terms of their pace out on track. So it is very hard to call, but my money
I mean,
is
you
on
can
Jim.
see that. I've just got Holtman on the screen. Gonzi's actually now back into shot as well. But Jim, what's happened to Holtman? Did he get a penalty actually? Because Jim has pulled. Jim's massively pulled away, and Gonzi isn't too far off Holtman now. So I'm not sure if Holtman had a slight penalty somewhere, or he's backed off. I don't know whether the pressure got to him or he's had a interruption at home or something. But he's definitely dropped off the pace there, which Gonzi will be smiling about. He'll see the distance timer. Huge chunks come off that for him, so that'll push Gonzi on. But Cam, not over for him yet. Scooby, let's see what his lap is. So he's done a 1:38.6. So I mean, that's a good lap time from Scooby. It is starting to spread out now, but it's definitely not over. So Holtman.
No, one mistake on a track this compact and you're right back in it or out.
Yeah, I mean, as we've seen throughout the race now, drivers have dropped off, they've caught back up. So it's definitely, this track is definitely catching out a lot of the drivers tonight. I mean, Holtman does look like he is catching RS Jim a little bit. Could have just been the braking into the corner that made it look like there as well. Yeah, similar gap between Gonzi to Holtman and then Holtman to Jim at the moment. So is back it up. So let's see if there is any battles going on. So we've got FRT Glazen, who's just in front of FRT Jella Ridges. So close battle between these two going on at the moment. Again, you're just watching the guy in front, trying to trace his line, apply the pressure, hoping that it forces them into a mistake. And that's all you can do is hope. But we've got Ollie, who's right on lead W07. So we mentioned these two that we'd see these battling out. Oldie's got a nice run on Lee at the moment. He's definitely got the pace. Can he get him before the chicane? No, he backs off.
Just enough, yeah.
Oh, he messes up that chicane there, though. Lee W can now breathe a little bit. FRT Nelkeman says thanks very much and allows him to catch up. He's back in the fight now.
Oh, such a shame. What's happened with Gary George? He's dropped right back. I missed that.
Yeah, he's down 11th. As I said, he shows promise in qualifying, but come races, he just makes a couple of too many mistakes, really. Svenjuro EDU has retired, so we've had a couple of retirements in the race. Oldie with Nelkeman now, so he's managed to get past Oldie. So next target is Lee W07 for FRT Nelkeman. Can he, 1, catch up, and 2, can he get past? Looks like he's got decent pace.
Gonzi is closing right in on FRT Holtman here. Jim has pulled away.
So Jim does what Jim does best, but yeah, Gonzi definitely back in the pack. So will we see these two? Oh, and will it be clean or will it be?
What's going on with Holtman? Look at the pace here of Gonzi out of this corner up the straight here. Is he letting him past?
Now, I think he might have let him pass on that one. So could it be before that Holtman feels like maybe he was in the wrong? Don't know. Has he done it to say, go on, you go past, mate? Maybe he's not feeling the car. Maybe he's, maybe he's starting to struggle. So he's like saying, you know what, you've probably got a better chance with your pace of catching up to Jim than what I have. It's one of them. Only the driver knows what his decision is. I don't think he'll make it as easy for Cam to get past, but we shall see what's going on. But then we see that he's catching back up with Gonzi now, so
maybe after he's let him back through, he's decided that the race is back on again. It's we're sort of evened out the contact before, and let's get racing again.
Yeah, it would be interesting definitely to find out what's happened. So we having a chat with him after the race just to see what the thinking was behind it. But yeah, Jim is now slowly pulling away, so there's just over 10 minutes left. Holtman taking a wide entry into the corner. So here's the corner where contact was made before. Both drivers through. So on board with Holtman, so you can see how close it is. Drivers doing well to drive this close with the pace that they're both showing. Can they find a way past? It's looking like he's gonna have a think. He's gonna think about it.
I think he was sensible enough to know that there was.
Yeah, you've got to be very brave to go too wide through the through any chicane, really. But we've seen it happen in next gen races before, and it's been done cleanly. So not to say that it's impossible. It's just something where you've got to have each element right on the night, and Jim is just absolutely pulling away at the moment. I think unless something happens to Jim, I don't think we'll see these two. Oh, Gonzi making a mistake there. Holtman says, all right, mate, I'll have the place back. But they are side by side. Holtman going wide again. I think Holtman's letting him through. It definitely appears that Holtman is letting him through. Although Holtman does have the advantage on the table, so it would make more sense for Holtman to actually fight for the place. So
I think that he was trying to set it up so when he come out of the final corner of that little section that he was on the inside. But I don't think he managed to quite nail it as he intended.
So obviously points. So it's 21 points for first, 18 for second, and 15 for third, and then 13 for fourth, and then it drops down 1 point. So the top three, you do get a bit of a points bonus for finishing the higher places. So Holtman would be wise to try and get that second place back. So let's just have a look what that would do. So he's already got the provisional pole. So if he managed to get second and get 18, that will put him on 49 points.
Oh, mistake by Gonzi. Let's Holtman through at the front. Not at the front, sorry, but through to second.
So at the moment, it's looking like Jim will get first, so that'll give him 85 points. Holtman, if he finishes in second with his bonus point for pole, it would give him 19, so he'll have 50. So huge gap between him and Jim at the moment, but looking like those two could have some fierce battles coming up for the remainder of the season. Cam in fourth, so unfortunate for him. He knows that he can do it. He'll have 13 points tonight, so that'll give him 56 as it stands at the moment. So Jim definitely looking like he's the clear one to take this championship at the end of the season, but anything can happen. So just trying to find. So we've got. So back up on board with Gonzi. Let's have a quick recap of the laps as well. See if anyone has improved on Gonzi's lap time. Oh, Holtman almost getting sideways there. Managed to keep the car under control. Nice driving from him there. But that's going to allow Gonzi through. But side by side go. Oh, a little bit of contact there.
Oh, bit of a nudge. See how they're going to go in here.
Oh, that's a penalty for Holtman. Now can Cam capitalise on it? I think he's a bit too far back to get anything. But that has definitely allowed the gap to be closed for Cam. Oh, Cam will just be watching again saying, come on, do that again, Holtman. Make it easy for me. It's not the way that you want to get points, but you'll definitely take it if it's given to you. Yeah. So Jim screaming off in front at the moment. So as I said before, Jim just avoids any incident, plays a game, allows the incident to happen, and then just goes ahead and then just concentrates on what he needs to do. Yeah, he gets the job done. So can he get up to Holtman, and can he take a place back? Scooby's not a million miles behind him as well, so Scooby, if anything happens in front, might be able to take a couple of places here. Can anyone... Oh, we've got FRT Jelly Ridges, who's not too far behind Glazing here as well. But just over 5 minutes left of this round. And unless someone makes a mistake, it's looking like that's it for the battles this week. Oh, we've got some close battles here. We've got Neckerman with Lee W07 and Oldie. Lee W07 pushing well here. Oh, Neckerman again. Tyre smoke coming from the Clio as he pushes it hard around the corner. Lee W ready to pounce if anything happens. And we've got Oldies watching the action out in front. So can Lee apply enough pressure to maybe force a mistake? Oh, Neckerman doing well. Oldie follows him through, but Oldie has made ground from the chicane. Oh, takes a little bit of the curb there, makes his car a little unsettled. Lee W07.
See how Ludum's going into the third corner here, see if he can... I think he's a bit too far back to have a go.
Yeah, definitely is a bit too far back. Lee W's definitely going to think about it though. No, he's second thoughts. Knows that couldn't do it without causing an incident. So does the wise thing of backing off.
Has allowed Oldie to close the gap a bit more.
Oh, car looking a little bit unsettled there for Oldie.
So I think that's
a penalty for Oldie there, unfortunately. So Amiga is too far behind to capitalise on that. So Lee W07 trying to apply as much pressure can. Neckerman definitely gets a good run from that corner though. Need to be careful of those curbs with these little cars and make it very unsettled. So no change at the front. We've still got RS Jim leading the way, FRT Gonzi second, Holtman in third and Cam in fourth. So Neckerman has managed to pull a little bit away from Lee W. Both of them take the chicane well. Coming up to the Coca-Cola curve. I'm coming. Oh, getting a much better exit out the corner, so he'll pull slightly away from Lee W07. So FRT
he's defended well the last few laps.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's not giving to the pressure. He's just done what he needed to do. And just keep it going. It's definitely not over though. So can he keep his cool for the last, what's just over 2 minutes of the race? Car leaning as he takes the corners.
FRT Holtman is actually gaining quite rapidly on Gonzi. And Gonzi's gone off wide. Took a little bit of the gravel there on the left hand side, so this could...
So can we see a little bit of upset for Gonzi at the end?
It's not over. It's not over yet.
It's not over until the slightly obese woman starts to vocally make music out of her mouth.
It ain't over till it's over, yeah.
So we're on board with Holtman now. Just over a minute and a half left. So this is your final lap of the race.
This is going to be the final lap, yeah.
Holtman going wide. He's going to go slow in, fast out. He's going to try a cheeky move. Gonzi holds the line well. Is he going to think about here? No, Gonzi defending as much as he can, making his little Clio as wide as possible. Holtman's thinking about it. He's looking for a way through.
This could be his moment.
Gonzi driving well there. So Holtman slightly wider line into the corner. Oh, Gonzi. Tyre smoke coming from the car there, so he's pushing hard. Is Holtman going to force a mistake out of him here? I don't think he will. I think Gonzi will be able to keep his cool. Great Clio Cup racing from these two tonight. Whether there'll be any words said with that incident that could have caused... basically lost one of these first place.
Well, this is it. This is going to be it now. Oh, he's got it there. Oh, there's just no room.
Yeah, Gonzi unfortunately covered the line there. So
Jim
going to take first place.
Any moment. Well done.
So another great race. He plays it, you know, he's a master of his class. He knows how to play it. He knows what to do. And he did it without conviction. So Gonzi second, Holtman third, Cam with fourth. I'm sure he would like to see it more, but not a bad race from him. Scooby fifth.
Hang on a minute. Was the timer at 0 when Jim crossed the line? Or have we got another lap on here? Because I thought it looked like they were still battling hard there for the moment.
No, it will have ended. So Glazen got 6th, Jelly Ridges 7th, Lee W 8th. Oh, it's saying there that I think Lee did manage to get the place from Neckelman. Oh, it would have been interesting to see what happened there.
Unless it's a glitch where it alters your places when the race ends. But yeah, that was a great race.
Lots of action there. So again, we'll get the highlight video out to you as quickly as possible. Probably looking at Monday or Tuesday when it will be uploaded. But great race. Plenty to talk about with the drivers. A couple of people maybe think the stewards will be speaking to him. Not the cleanest of opening laps for some of the drivers. So we'll see what their views on it are and if anyone's got any complaints. But all in all, another great round for the Ollie Pidgley Clio Cup. We are back next Saturday again at 8:30 with myself and James Davis on commentary duty. And don't forget, you can catch up all the action at NXTGEN on Facebook with us as well. So if you're new and you're not part of the group, come and get involved. And we will catch you soon.
See you guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'm off to have me Rustler burger.
Delicious.